Welcome to WNL Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. This week we'll speak with football coach Scott Abell, volleyball captain Meghan Meleski, and field hockey captain Kirsten Kyne. But first, a quick look back at the weekend in Washington Indley athletics. M.A. Bowles became just the 9th player in WNL volleyball history to reach the 1,000 kill mark as the Generals went 3-1 in Gallaudet's Worthington Classic. Meanwhile, Luke Heinsohn set a new career scoring record in the football team's 42-21 ODAC win at Guilford. Women's cross country won Lehigh's Paul Short Invitational, while the men placed 7th at Salisbury's Don Cathcart race. Men's soccer scored a decisive 3-0 win over Bridgewater at Watt Field, and the women played 9th-ranked Lynchburg to a goalless draw on the road. Field hockey fell 2-1 at Wilson, while Hayden White finished as the runner-up in the singles competition at the ITA Southeast Regional Men's Tennis Championships. I'm joined now by football coach Scott Abell. Scott, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Washington Indley has earned a lot of headlines, a lot of press in recent years for its prolific offense. I think the story of the last couple of wins for WNL has been defense. How well have the Generals been playing on that side of the ball?
Oh, you're exactly right. Without hesitation, defensively, we're really coming into our own. You know, our kids they've bought into what Coach O'Brien and his staff have implemented. They're flying around, and they're doing all the little things that we talk about a lot. They're tackling better, getting off blocks, pressuring the quarterback, and those are things that we think we have to do well to compete for an ODAC championship.
As I mentioned just a moment ago, Luke Heinsohn became the program's all-time scoring leader against Guilford. He's got a chance to break the rushing record this year. He's kicking extra points. He's handling some of the kickoffs for WNL. What does Luke mean to your program?
Well, you said it right there in a nutshell. I mean, I really can't put a word on to how much he means to our team, to our program, and really now to the history of Washington League football. But you know, he's such a great kid. You know, character-wise, there's none better, and we're very fortunate that he's wearing our colors, and I'm very proud that he represents us.
The mantra for any football team, really any athletic team, is one game at a time. Is that even easier to sort of get that attitude across to your team this year when the ODAC looks like it might be as competitive as ever?
Oh, I think without hesitation. I think our kids are really focused from week to week, and you know, we were a little concerned going down to Guilford after having a week off and knowing we had some pretty big rivalries coming up here back at home. But our young men, they did a fantastic job down in Guilford. They stayed focused for 3 quarters. Our first shut them out. You know, it was 34-0 going into the 4th, and we're real proud of how our kids rallied around that mantra that, hey, one game at a time, focus on your opponent now.
I know an ODAC championship is one of the big goals for Washington Indley this year. How did the Generals get there?
Well, I think it's all those little things that we talk about a lot. You know, defensively, we got to continue to grow inside our new scheme. We have to tackle well. We have to put pressure on quarterbacks, force them to doing things they don't want to do. Offensively, you know, we have to stay a step ahead. I mean, teams continue to try to find answers and find ways to slow our option game down, and it's up to us to try to stay a step ahead of that. But, you know, don't turn the ball over. You know, finish our drives. And get all our weapons involved. You know, not just Luke, but continue to get Brett Murray involved and Nick Lombardo and Alex Evans, all those guys that we think we need to make big plays for us to have a shot.
Scott, thanks for joining us. Best of luck against Emory and Henry on Saturday.
Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
With me now is Meghan Meleski, junior volleyball captain from Richmond. Meghan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're the setter for the Washington Indley offense. You run things on the court for WNL. How pleased have you been with the way the Generals have played on offense so far this year?
I've actually been really pleased with all aspects of our play this year. Every time we have a match, it shows how much we've improved and what we get to improve on the next day in practice. And our offense has been playing really well and working on executing our game plan. And so we're going to keep trying to develop that and train that every day.
I think it's pretty fair to say that it's been an injury-plagued season for Washington Indley. How do you deal with that when you have to put a different lineup on the court for almost every match?
It can be overwhelming to, be thrown into a position that you haven't played before or, get uncomfortable on the court. But we're really trying to emphasize that, it's not an excuse not to play as hard as we can and play our best. And so we've been getting pretty good at rolling with the punches this season. But hopefully in the next couple of days we'll have a few less injuries and they'll get to start practicing and playing with us again. And we'll get to continue on with our season from there.
You have several athletic relatives. Your sister played volleyball at Clemson. Your brother was a baseball player at Randolph-Macon. You have an uncle who played in the Boston Red Sox organization. How did those family ties impact your decision to compete in intercollegiate athletics?
Well, I grew up around sports my entire life, so I kind of knew I'd eventually end up playing one. And but I never really felt any pressure or anything to play in college. It was just kind of a decision I made, and They've been a great support system, coming to every match that they can, and it's actually really nice having a family that has been through playing a college sport. You know, they know the stresses and the triumphs of it, so it's a great support system to have.
The end goal for the Generals is to be playing your best volleyball when the ODAC tournament rolls around in a few weeks. What does WNL need to do to make that happen?
We need to take every day in practice as an opportunity to get better, and we're lucky enough to have coaches that are training us in things that other teams aren't training. So we're really just working on improving every single day, and you know, every match we play, we're trying to play with a strong desire to win and playing as hard as we can. And I think if we continue to do that, we're going to end up, you know, doing really well in the ODAC tournament.
Meghan, thanks for joining us here. Best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you very much.
I'm joined now by Kirsten Kyne, senior field hockey captain from Baltimore. Kirsten, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Entering this week, WNL is 3-6 overall, 2-4 in one-goal games on the year. What do the Generals need to do to pull out more of those close contests?
Well, some of the main things that we really need to accomplish going into the next couple of games is we need to be more effective in the offensive circle. We need to be taking more shots, even if they aren't the most pretty shots, because most of the goals that are scored aren't pretty. They aren't the big hit going into the circle. They're deflections and mistakes that happen. And so we just really need to make sure we keep shooting, because the more shots we take, the higher our chances are of scoring and winning these games. And our next 4 games are huge games, so we just need to make sure our goals keep going up and goals against stay where they are or lower.
The goalkeeper position is very difficult in any sport. Field hockey is no exception. What are the specific challenges of playing in goal?
Well, some of the specific ones for field hockey at least are the tolls it takes on your body. It's a very movement-oriented position because you need to be moving side to side rather than forward like all of the other positions on the field. And so it's just getting your body used to all of those movements again if you hadn't done them for a couple of weeks. Also, just staying focused during game is really key, because if the ball is down the other side of the field for 75% of the game, you need to make sure you know what's going on and stay communicating with your defense and your midfield so that they know where you are and where they need to be as well. So just staying focused and keeping your body in the right condition is very important.
Washington Lee has several young players seeing meaningful minutes, especially on the offensive end. With that in mind, how do you view your role as one of the tri-captains for the team?
Well, I think my role as a senior captain is to make sure that the first years know that they are able to get playing time, and that was something that we emphasized during our preseason training and everything like that. Is it's not assumed that the returners are going to be the starters. Everyone has a chance to play. And so keeping first years who maybe aren't playing or starting motivated during practice to say you could be playing in the next game, you could be starting. I think that's the main thing, and just making sure all of the returners who might not be getting as much playing time also know that it's the same for them. Like if they keep improving, showing dedication during practice and enthusiasm, that's what's really going to help them get in the games and be effective on the sideline during games if they're not playing.
You still have the bulk of the conference schedule ahead of you, including 4 games at the WNL Turf Field. What are the keys for Washington in these upcoming ODAC games?
Well, these games are always really competitive for us, and so when we get in that mindset of we need to win this game, we tend to tense up and stress out about it. And so something that's important for us is to relax and just go into it, have fun, because the best field hockey is fun field hockey. And so when we go into it saying we're going to have fun, what's more fun than winning is something we've said multiple times this season. And so these are games we need to win, and our main goal is to at least make it to the conference tournament at the end of the season, which we weren't able to accomplish last year. And so by winning these games, it'll make our chances much higher at going into the tournament. So we just need to relax and still have fun, but at the same time know that we are here to win, but winning is fun, and that's the way we're going to achieve our goals.
Kirsten, thanks for being here. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thanks for having me, Jeremy.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. It's homecoming at Washington and Lee as 4 teams will take on ODAC opponents in Lexington on Saturday. Women's soccer starts off the day against Eastern Mennonite at Watt Field. Field hockey will also meet the Royals, while football squares off against Emory and Henry, and men's soccer battles Lynchburg. Also this weekend, the Riding team opens up its 2012-2013 schedule at the Randolph-Lynchburg Invitational on Friday. Men's golf heads to Randolph-Macon for the Ted Keller Invitational, and women's soccer meets Greensboro at home on Sunday afternoon. For WNL Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.